The film's research team unearthed over 20 legendary performances at Ronnie Scott's jazz club, many of which needed to be lovingly restored and sort of tenderly brought back to life. It's often the images that get talked about most, but the unsung heroes on this film were the sound and music technicians who really took old and sometimes mishandled material and turned it into a kind of sonic feast for the ears as well as the eyes. So I think what we ended up with was a real cinematic event. We wanted it to be on the big screen, and I'm really, really proud of my team for what we managed to achieve. But then at the end of the day, although these technical feats are a great source of pride, we all believe that the best achievement is creating such a personal and often emotional film. So repurposing all this archive meant that the story of Ronnie Scott, a man with a dream, is now brought to life again for a whole new generation of music and film fans. You always start on Mondays with a strong plan and think that you know where you're headed. But as always with archive, when you really harness the power of archive, you have to let that material speak for itself as well. So we always had a strong script on a Monday, which was completely different on the Friday. And then the next week you start again and repeat that process as you I think it's all about having a point of view. We had a very strong sense, as most of us on this production were Londoners. Most of us working in the film industry knew Ronnie Scott's and knew Soho, because we all traditionally that is the centre of the British film industry. Not so much these days, but we all had a knowledge and a soft spot in our hearts for that place. So I think as the tone of the piece emerged, we were able we were all very aligned on what it is we were trying to achieve. And as we unearthed these amazing performances, this sense of Ronnie Scott's journey, the history of London, the vibrancy of Soho, and the astonishing musical performances that we got all fed into each other as the edit progressed. One of the reasons I was so fascinated and excited about the idea of writing this story and directing this film was I really didn't know enough about the man behind the name. So as a big music fan, I knew that Miles Davis had come through, and Dizzy Gillespie and Buddy Rich, and the sort of legendary last performance of Jimi Hendrix. But what became apparent quite quickly once I spoke to the people that knew him was that there was this incredibly charismatic man. As you might imagine, I mean, I guess that it doesn't surprise me that it needed someone like him to literally galvanize the London, not just the jazz scene, but like the whole music scene revolved around Ronnie's in so many ways. So I think I'm always astonished at the openness and the willingness of the contributors to help tell the stories. So I had a lot of allies in the club. Ronnie's family, Pete King and his family, musicians that are very, very busy, had all the time in the world for us, because Ronnie was a special guy to so many people. And I think that was something you always hope for and you're always looking for, but then to kind of come across a man who used music as medicine for his troubles. And I think that's a very contemporary and vital message. Certainly music has helped me, and I'm sure, given the rough few months that we've all had in different ways because of what's going on in the world, we need music and entertainment. So long live Ronnie Scott's and long live live music, I say.